So this week. I really should have some kind of waiting intro or something when I'm going into this. Let's see. Trying to figure out if we're live or not live or what the hell we are. Where we at? Well, we're live on YouTube now, and Facebook is coming in. So, we're live on Facebook too. Just gonna go ahead and reconnect this. All the chat stuff. Because otherwise we can't have the chat overlays. That should all be working fine and dandy now. Activate the chat overlay. Those are some enormous oh, what the hell, you can see the screens anyway. Let's see if it picks up on any of this. It does. Right, then I need to clean up all of this mess. Nope, don't want to save that. Of course, the computer goes into semi-sleep mode now. For reasons I don't even know why. So we need to save that. Shut that down. Shut everything down. Boot up the old AI suite. Make sure we're on. See, this is something that I used to do also. I don't know why it won't stick to my profiles that I made here, but I got some hefty overclocking profiles here that I like to run. When I'm in the games, yes sir, gaming mode. Everything all good. Means I can shut down this and start to get into the game. Of course we need Steam running too. I forgot that. Do I even have... For this I'm using the Simitools data logger, and I just need to check that I've got the data logger running. It appears I do. And I'm using a really nifty piece of software this time. I'm using something called Synergy, which makes me able to. I got a laptop over here on my right. You can't see it now because the camera is right behind my back here. But I got a laptop over to the left of me here, and I'm using the same mouse and keyboard on the laptop as on on the computer here, I can just move the mouse over on the desktop of the laptop because Synergy. I can really recommend that.
Hey you. Yeah, you. Do you like this video? There is a button.
To run this
it's a very sexy button. It says subscribe on it. I wish I could click on it, but YouTube won't let me. Damn fuckers.
What are we getting? I'm getting a bunch of warnings here. Keyframe intervals. I'm not sure I can change that while it's running, but that one. So I'm going to go in the race. Just hiding so you can't see what I'm typing. Just hiding the password. I'm sorry if this seems to be loading slowly. What I'm going to be looking at tonight are specifically camber angles and tire temperatures on the Enduracers cars, because the tires on those Enduracers cars are really, they're so horrible. I can't even describe to you how horrible they are. They're really not worth it. See, I'm running a, yeah, well, I should perhaps get through that also, why I'm running triple screen like I am, because my middle screen is a 16:10 display ratio and the other one's a 16:9, but they're the same basic size, so when I run it in a window mode stretched to all three screens, it looks proper. Of course, this practice session is about to end, so let's vote on restarting this weekend. Restart the weekend. So we're back in daylight. Thank God. See, I was trying to make this setup work with soft tires. So the problem is that on Sebring you have the very, very long left-hand corner sunset bend, and that seems to ruin the tires completely. Let me go and fix the sound here, so we don't have double music that's picked up by the microphone. I hope you can hear the car, and I hope you can hear me over the car. I'm guessing you can. Turn down the car just a smudge, like that, maybe. That might be better. Yeah, let's go. Oh, I want to start my dirty key also, and I've got a little macro here for flashing the lights in a small macro program called Hotkeyboard Pro. That was really cheap. It was a cheap macro program, so now I got that. I can now turn on the lights, and I can use my flash here to flash the front headlights. So I just need to press a button once, and then it will flash the headlights. And it will flash according to the race department rules for flashing headlights. It's some number of flashes during a period of 2 seconds or something. Nicely, they don't start with a completely green track here. They start with a nice rubbered in track. I'm into first gear here at the hairpin. We want to get out there and do 4 or 5 laps in total. So that's 3 or 4 counting laps with time on them before the tire's up to operating temperature, and operating temperature is all we really need to adjust the tire pressures. And in old simulators, what you would be looking for was to balance the temperatures across the tire by using your camber angles and your tire pressures. But we're going to be looking at the development on the tire temperature as we start a turn.
Hey you. Yeah, you. Do you like this video? There is a button.
So instead
It's
of
a very
looking
sexy
at
button.
the temperatures
It
across
says
the tire
subscribe
for
on
a
it.
whole lap,
I wish I
we're
could
going
click
to
on it,
look
but
at
YouTube
different
won't let
corners
me.
and look at how the
And fuck
temperature's developing on a particular tire in that corner. And that's going to be mostly outside tires, because those are the ones under load during any corner. And what we're going to be looking for is a nice even spread, a nice even climb in those temperatures. And what I'll be using to check that out, and I hope my sensors data here is picking up. There it is. That makes this whole thing look so much more clear. So if you haven't done it yet, you should go to Google and just type in SimUtils. Go look at that software and maybe buy it. That is the coolest telemetry software you can buy for money. It'll do all your fuel calculations and all your keep in check on tire temperatures and fuel levels and all that, and it's got a network protocol built in. So on the car you're racing, you just install something called it's a 2-piece software solution. It's got a data logger that you install on the racing PC, and it's got the race manager, and that you can install on any PC and hook it up via network. Whoa. I was gonna try and keep the tires running there, but since we came into a 90-degree sideways slide there, that's gonna create flat spots on all 4 tires, but luckily it doesn't feel like it did that. Not very much, at least. Nope. Very, very little, if any. Didn't overload the tires particular either. Fairly lucky. Me being a little bit clumsy with the brakes into Sunset Bend. There may be a little bit too late. It's very, very dangerous to get too late on the brakes there in that corner, because then you need to brake while you're turning, and that will end up really, really bad. What I was saying about SimUtils is that you can access that via internet, so if you just in your router, in your port forwarding settings, put in the port that you're using for SimUtils and you forward that, then any computer on the internet will be able to start their race manager up and hook onto your data logger in your machine, and your whole team that you're perhaps racing with can now follow the data from your computer. And not only can they follow your the data from your computer, they also get a live track map that is 100% live. There's as good as no delay at all in the track map inside the race manager. So that's really good for spotting when you're catching up to slower cars, or if you're racing GTs and LMP cars or faster traffic is coming from behind. I highly recommend it. Well, let's get into the 201s. Let's go fast. Late apex. Early on the throttle. It's key to all the corners on Sebring. Every single one of them. .3 of a second faster in sector 1 just by late apex and getting early on throttle. This corner is really annoying because it's tightening. It's open in the beginning and then it gets tighter and tighter. The last half of it is tighter than the beginning. I'm practicing trying to roll through this one in second gear. I think I'm getting better and better at it. This one's really hard because that also
do you like this video?
In the end.
There is a button.
Hard because
it's a very sexy button.
The tarmac
it says subscribe on it.
And then the curb starts.
I wish I could click on it, but
you really
YouTube
need
won't
to
let
use
me.
the curb
And fuck it.
to be fast. And you need to teach yourself how to see how much curb you can use. Oh, that's a big slide. That was a good lap. That was a shame. Yeah, that was definitely a 201. I threw away very carelessly. This corner is a death trap with the bridge right after the corner. If you lose control, it's so easy to spin out and hit those tires and really smack up the car completely. So how many laps have we got now in the bank? Try not to ruin Sons of Bend this time. Like I said, it's really hard to judge how far you get out on those curves. Just that the fact that the texture changes from the tarmac to the wide curves, it just makes it hard to see when the corner starts and ends. Why am I doing this all the time today? Just throwing the car around out here. Really eating up those red tires by doing that. It's gonna take a couple of laps to get the car clean again. Get any of that overheating out of the forced overheating out of the tires. It's going to take at least a couple of laps because it sort of lingers inside the tire. Because what you get, the tire temperatures that you get from rFactor 2 are the surface tire temperatures. So this, oops, that was first gear. This says nothing about the temperature of the tire carcass itself. Or the air compound or the pressured air that's inside the tire. We get no information at all about that. As long as you're not on the brakes, the car is actually easily handleable. It's very, very nice in the corners when it starts to slide. But up here in Sunset Bend, it's really a handful. And I have no idea why it has become this difficult to drive. So now we got most of that overheating out of the tires. The car's starting to drive predictable again. We're getting good sector times.
Hey you. Yeah, you. Do you like this video? There is a button. It's a very sexy button. It says subscribe on it. I wish I could click on it, but YouTube won't let me. And fuckers.
Decent sector times at least. Let's see if we can take this without screwing it up. Sure we can. Just brake early enough and it'll all go just fine. 218. That's good. That's 0.3 of a second faster in sector 1. Now the car's really coming into this might be the best handling portion of a stint in this car. From here on the tires might be starting to degrade and get worse and worse. we really came onto the back straight with a lot of speed this time. Now remember to brake early. Remember to brake early. Keep it under control all the way in, and then full throttle. .2009. That's a good lap time. Stayed fourth this time. We got the grip now. Not as good as last time. It was pretty good though. Oh. And if you lose it back there, the left-hand turn comes immediately after that. So if it starts fishtailing, you're gonna end up in the grass. Sorry about that, but it's just the distance before the road turns away again from you. It's just too short. You can't really save it properly before you end up. Best solution is to just call it a day and just apply moderate braking and then scrap some of the speed off the car. Try and save the car instead of trying to keep up the pace. Anyway, we got the laps that we need now, so I'm gonna roll this into the pits. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, did it again. I'm gonna have to sort out that sunset bend. Did it okay yesterday, but today seems to be a huge problem. Anyway, we're gonna open up Motec now. I'm gonna drag that over here. And then let's adjust the camera. Oh, let's not do it like that with my head in front of everything. Let's adjust the camera, which is this one. Click configure and then adjust the brightness settings so you can see what's going on. Exposure. That should be somewhat. That should be somewhat visible now.
Hey you. Yeah, you. Do you like this video? There is a button. It's a very sexy button.
It's the best I can do.
It says subscribe on it. I wish I could click on it, but YouTube won't let me.
I can do. Can't do much better than that. We're going to open up a new log file. There we go. 7 laps in total. Second to last lap, which was also the fastest lap time. And we're going to look at tire temperatures here. What we're looking at is the comparison between the inner, center, and outer temperature. And let's start with the front left, since that tire is the most complicated tire on this track. It's the outside tire during the sunset bend, and therefore it really comes under pressure. It's not only under pressure during the sunset bend, it's also really much under pressure during the right-hand turns up and onto the back straight. That's also a huge problem. Now if we look at it in the beginning here, might have been some lock-up or slide in that corner here. Can't really regard that as anything we use. Let's try the lap before, does the same. The lap before again, does the same. Lap before again, does the same. It seems like that tire at the beginning of the lap, it is just under huge stress. So let's look at lap number 7 again. So the stress starts, weirdly enough, it starts as it is the inside wheel in the long left-hand first corner, and then it gets to be the inside wheel here turning into the chicane part after turn 1, and it seems there's a few lockups here. Because that is creating a lot of heat on the inside of the tire, and since the inside is so much higher, could indicate that the camber angle on the wheel is too high, but it might also indicate that the car is sliding a bit sideways. So if it's the left hand, if it's the left hand tire and the car is sliding this way, then the inside of the tire will scrub on the road and the outside tire won't scrub as much. So that might be the reason why this gets hot in the beginning of the lap. Try not to lock up the brakes during the braking into this corner, because that really ruins data all the way back to about over here. Now we should look at places where we start to get heat into the tire, and that's something like the chicane before the back straight here. How are we looking before we start turning in here? It's 84 on the inside, 79 on the outside, and the center temperature is the lowest temperature, so that's not good. The tire is not inflated properly. It needs more inflation. So given this, I would say about 3 kPa. So let's go to the setup, to the advanced portion here. Click off symmetrical, so the setup isn't symmetrical anymore. And then take the front left tire up. 1, 2, 3 kPa. Luckily, when load starts to come onto the tire, it actually starts looking better, and it's now the center temperature is actually the center temperature is actually way below. It's still 71, and the outer temperature is 157 degrees Celsius. So the tire surface gets really hot into this corner, and the center temperature follows nicely up through here, and it's actually getting heated perhaps a little bit more than it really should. If we can see this as a pattern, I would say based on that the 3 kph was really unnecessary, and we may even need to take a little bit of pressure out of the tire instead. But this could also be due to the tire being too low inflated, and to check that out we obviously need to go the 3 kph up and then do a 7 or 8 lap test run again, and then see if the situation improves. So I'm gonna go with more pressure for now and then run a second test. So center temperature compared to inner temperature here on the other side, you can see how the inner again scrubs, and that makes the inside temperature go up really high. Center and outer temperature remains low. So for this section we can't really say anything about the front right tire. Data is just simply not sufficient here. The rear left tire.
Hey you.
That looks
you.
good all the way.
Do you like this video?
Until we come into the
There is a
corners.
button.
And
it's a very sexy button. It says subscribe on it.
Out
I wish I could click on it, but YouTube won't let me.
all the
And
temperature
fuckers.
curves, and it's actually so close to the same temperature all across the tire that there's really no need to adjust anything here. The inside rear tire is a different story. Here it looks like the tire is either under-inflated or over-inflated. At least there's something wrong with the pressure here, so we need to adjust that. If we go back and look at the temperatures prior to this, prior to turning in, the center temperature is actually the highest temperature. So that might actually indicate either inflation too. Since we're trying to run up the kph, let's try and add a couple of kph to the right outside tire as well, and then run a test to see if that improves it. Camber angles is the difference between the inside and outside temperature, and from what we see here, it looks like the outside tires have maybe a little bit too much camber on the front tires and perfect camber on the rear tires. So I'm going to try and lower that by 0.2 degrees on the left front tire. Oh, so that's minus 2.8 now, it should be minus 2.6. Let's try and go with that on both sides and keep that symmetrical. So we're going to go and save the setup once more. I use numbers, so I get increasing numbers all through the setups here, and I keep just assigning this the newest one. So yeah, well, I can just keep making new setups, and I'm always sure when I use the assign that I'm loading the latest setup. So let's try and adjust the camera again here a little bit, since this is going to be way too dark for racing. It would be really nice if we could save these camera settings for each scene and just have scenes here in OBS that I could switch between, but nope, doesn't want to do that. I'm guessing now you got a nice view again. And just got a message from a guy that's been messaging me on Facebook saying he thought that 110 euros per hour for my wage, prepaid for doing setups, was a joke. And no, that's definitely not a joke, man. If you're not ready to pay it, you're the joke. Nothing good comes cheap, ever. So you should just learn that right away, and your life will be much better for it. This track just has a really annoying tendency to overload these soft tires and put way too much temperature into them. That's why the car feels much better at the start of a stint than it does when you get 4 or 5 laps in. Look at that again. 45-degree slide. Am I not in reverse? Sorry, it wasn't. Just try not to ruin the tires like that. I really need to get a handle on that corner again. I don't know what's going wrong. I haven't changed the setup since yesterday, and yesterday it ran just fine. So it's definitely me doing something that I wasn't used to doing. I've definitely got a bad habit.
Do you like this video? There is a button. It's a very sexy button. It says subscribe on it. I wish I could click on it, but YouTube won't let me. And fuckers.
Now camber, when you get all the rubber on the road, you can. Of course, it's always going to distribute the pressure and load out onto the entire tire surface instead of just a small concentrated patch on the inside or outside of the tire. So that actually improves the temperature build up a lot. It doesn't build up temperature as fast as that when you hit the right camber angles. So there shouldn't be any rubber build up on the track tonight, because I think it looks like they have the car set up as rubbered in when you join or start a weekend. So it doesn't start on a green track. So speeds with this tire pressure and camber should be directly comparable to the times that I did on the last out. That was a lot better. That's not a lot better. That's a lot more dangerous. Oh my god. Better call it quits when the car starts to act like that. That's not going to be a record lap of any kind. Not too slow though. Now slow onto the back straight again.
Hey you. Yeah, you. Do you like this video? There is a button. It's a very sexy button. It says subscribe on it. I wish I could click on it, but YouTube won't let
really
me.
fading now.
And fuckers.
Cannot seem to keep the heat in the front tires. We'll go okay for 3 or 4 laps. Then it starts going and just fading away. Starts to understeer hard. And you really need to really need to take maximum care of it to bring it back in. Might have brought it back from the dead now. Yep. It definitely turns again now. And that's very important, because understeer on this track really controls how fast you can get on the throttle, and getting on the throttle really controls how fast you can be out of the corners on this track. And if you can't leave the corners quickly, sorry, but that's just your straightaway speed. Just bleeds off straightaway speed. Whoopie-doopie-doo. Like I said, starting to have a slide in that corner is just too dangerous to try and keep up the speed, so better sacrifice the speed instantly and then regain control. I had a lug up on the rear tires into that corner. I'm also running the brake bias unusually far behind. I don't usually do this. This is all new for me, making the car drive this way. This is also what gives me the problems into this sunset bend here. If I get too late on the brakes, it's just too late. And there's nothing to do then.
Hey you. Yeah, you. Do you like this video? There is a button. It's a very sexy button. It says subscribe on it. I wish I could click on it, but YouTube won't let me.
Well, we're getting plenty of good tire data here. Had a little bit of a front tire fade in the middle of these laps, but from there it's been kind of decent. So that's good data to work with to see if we need to go up or down in those tire pressures, and to check out if the camber angle changes. Is that any good? It doesn't feel like a massive change in the car, but you never know. That you make a setup change and you actually even feel it in the car. The car may be just getting 1 or 2 tenths quicker. And you might even not be able to get that out of the car on your stint. You might be making a lot of driving mistakes, and then you can't get that extra speed that you build up in the setup. You can't get that out of the car. So I rely on feel of the car. If it feels okay, it's good. And if the data looks better, then the setup's better. So I go with that. Data time. Does that mean I have to adjust the camera again? Yes, it does. I won't be doing that. I'm guessing I should have had a Motec install on my laptop to watch the data from the racing PC instead. I'll do that tomorrow or another day or whenever I get back to testing. But I'm guessing tomorrow. Open up latest data. I'll tell you the developments because all you can see is a white screen now. Sorry about that. So developments look good on the front left tire. They also look much better on the rear right tire. And of course rear left tire is still the same. Problem tiles here being the front right tire, which is just completely unpredictable and has a lock up here coming into the turn. That's a bit of a problem. I think we need on this page here as well as all these pressures, I think we need a new group, and we need to add the wheel speeds, real rotational speed, front, left, right, blah blah, all of them. Yeah, see, big dip here in the rear left and rear right tires, so that's a bit strange since there's no log up and the temperature in the front right tire just climbs like crazy.
Hey you, yeah you. Do you like this video?
That
there is a button.
What we're looking at,
it's a very sexy button.
Here is not
it says subscribe on it.
Inner and
I wish I could click on it, but YouTube won't let me.
I think that the channels here are mixed up, and these might be the rear left temperatures instead, because those match each other completely, and these match each other completely. So that might be an issue. Well, it worked. The tire test proves that all we did was make the car even better. It might not be visible entirely on the lap times. I think go just a little smudge faster, like 0.04 per second. But that doesn't really matter. What we need to compare here will be the sector times section here, and what we're looking for is the rolling minimum, which says on the second outing here we had a rolling minimum of 2.103, and then on the first outing we had a 2.001. So actually what it looks like is I drove a lot better during the first tests here, and especially the first two laps, my out lap and the first lap, because the tires were handling better cold than hot. And on the second run here I did the best run, not on cold tires but on warm tires, on lap 4 and 5. So I'll pretty much disregard the first stint here because it's just too irrational compared to normal behavior of a car. Well, that's it for now. I hope you learned just a little bit about checking out the tire temperatures in Motec and how to test for best possible tire temperatures. See you around, people, for the next stream. Tomorrow, maybe? I think so. I'll plan to tomorrow. It's not going to be as late as tonight. It's going to be earlier than this. Maybe something 9 o'clock Central European time ish. Okay? See you tomorrow. Bye bye.